Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2012 Ram 2500, we're going to be showing you how to install the Curt in-bed gooseneck and fifth wheel hitch trailer wiring. But before we get to that, why don't we check this out and make sure it's going to work for you. Whenever you are hooked up to your trailer, whether it be a gooseneck or a fifth wheel, you're going to need a way to power up all the lights and everything on it, right? So you take your connector plug and you got a couple of options. One of them being you can drape it over your tailgate and plug it down into your bumper connector, which doesn't work, sure, but it's not really the right way to do things. You know, it's kind of a pain to do anyway. But your other option would be to get in-bed wiring like this here. And so this is really going to simplify it. You know, it's the right way to kind of set everything up. Your trailer's wiring will simply just plug right in the bed. Won't be hanging over anything, getting hung up on anything, or anything along those lines. So it is just your kind of your factory 7-way round type connector. Has a seal on the bottom to keep it clean inside of there, and even a catch too on the cap. That way your connector don't get accidentally pulled out for any reason. So pretty straightforward stuff. You know, one of the things that's cool about the setup is this is going to tee into your existing wiring. So you have your factory connector down on the bumper. This is just going to tee into that and get its signals and stuff from that. So you don't have to hardwire anything or you know, really go through a whole lot of trouble. And when you install this, you're also going to be able to still maintain and use your bumper connector. It's not like you sacrifice that bumper connector for this one up here. So they're both still going to work and still put all of those signals out. Other than all that, at the end of the day, I mean, it's a connector plug. It's going to get the job done and allow you to hook up your trailer's wiring. As far as the installation goes, we kind of touched on that a minute ago. Pretty easy. You will need a hole saw to create an opening to put the connector through, and essentially plug it in back here, run it down to your bumper, and plug it in there. Kind of clean up the wires. So not a whole lot to it, and really shouldn't give you a whole lot of issues. But if you'd like to see how that's done, feel free to hang around. We'll go ahead and do it together now. To begin our installation, we're going to be here in the bed of our truck, and we need to find a spot to mount up our connector plug. And I'm going to go right here in this area. It seems to be, you know, the common spot for them. There's a flat piece there on our bed that'll work perfect. If you got a bed liner, you are going to have to cut out an opening here. That way you can actually mount it up and get your hand in there. So it looks like it'll be close. You might have to cut a little more plastic out. Not a big deal. But line this up where you want it, and then we can drill out a hole to the proper size using a hole saw. When you do this, be careful to just go through that first layer. Obviously, you don't want to get carried away and punch through and drill through the side of your truck bed. So just be conscious of that. I got us marked out here, and we'll get this drilled out. Now that we got our hole drilled out, just to help prevent rust and corrosion issues, since we have some bare metal exposed now, take some clear spray paint and just put a good coating on it. We'll give that a few minutes to dry and come back and get our wiring in. With the paint dry, we can take our cable here and get that in. So you want to take the T connector side and feed that in first. Sometimes these are pretty tight. You might have to find the best way to get both these in here. Obviously you got some sharp metal and stuff, so try not to, you know, rip on it too hard. So get that in, and then drop it down. And what we'll do, this connector, I'm going to take some dielectric grease and put some on the terminals. This will help prevent corrosion. You can always grab a tube of this here at eTrailer. And then take our connector plug. I'll just plug right in. So this will then get pushed in. And we'll hold that where we want it. Try to get it, you know, straight as possible here. It looks looks decent. I think that's pretty good. And it comes with some screws, some self-tappers, so we'll just get these started. Underneath the truck, our wiring drops down, and we can just run it a foot or two over here to our bumper where our factory connector plug is, and it's going to tee into that. I'll get this out of the way here. So here's our factory connector plug, and we'll disconnect it. There's a tab up top. Push down on it and then pull back, and looks like there's some factory dielectric grease on there, but it's kind of seen better days. I'm going to add a little more, and also just put some on our connector plug here. You don't have to get shy with this stuff. It goes a long way. And this is going to plug right in. So one end will go into our factory connector. Just tee right into it. And then the other side plug right into the bumper connector there. So I went ahead, just used some of the included zip ties, kind of bundled up our extra wiring just to keep it out of the way and prevent it from moving around on us. So now it's a good idea to test our wiring. I just have the small tester we plugged in. It'll at least give us an idea. So we have our 12-volt power, our left turn, our right turn, our brakes, and then we can turn on our running lights. And I'll put it in reverse. You might have to start the truck. Well, we'll see. There's our reverse. And then if you have a brake controller, you can always check that as well. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Curt and bed trailer wiring on our 2012 Ram 2500.